let's discuss this. Is marriage overrated in Nigeria? Is marriage overrated? Ada, can you take here? Can you bear cinema sorrow?
I think it is, but like I said yesterday, it's actually a beautiful thing. If you have it, fine. If it's good for you, then it's amazing. But if it's not forthcoming, sweetheart, you can have a fulfilled life without being married.
Hmm.
Of course, people will now come out and say, okay, fine, what then happens when you're honey, when you want to satisfy yourself? Oh, well. The honest truth is, I don't want to be hypocritical. We all sin.
You see. I was talking to a friend of mine, Jigga. Um, Jigga used to be very close to me in the Free Nation before he left, but even though he left, we maintained a very strong friendship. Jigga said something. He said, if you put hypocrisy and some other sins on a scale, that hypocrisy would be like stones and those sins would be like feathers.
Ah, wow.
And I said I was going to tweet it, but I just got too busy. Let me ask you a question. I want to tell you a few. The topic today is marriage overrated in Nigeria? Are we assigning a status than what a higher status than what marriage deserves in Nigeria? And there are quite a few people I know who get into marriages and don't cheat. But majority of the people who get into marriages cheat. By cheat, I mean both husband and wife. So somebody asked me the other day, Daddy Freeze, are you telling people to be single so they can be promiscuous? The ones that are inside marriage and promiscuous, how do we view them? Oh, they're more hypocritical. Right? I'll take you a little step further for those of us who are joining online, because I wish we had gone online earlier because the calls were sweet. Online people needed to hear some of these calls. We're live on 99.3 Nigeria Info, by the way. And make sure you join us Mondays through Thursdays, 10 to midnight. It's off the hizzle for shizzle. So, there was a certain lady in, was it Ibadan? Because that language was very strong. That Yoruba was conk. I'm not sure if it was in Ibadan. She almost took her life. She was about to take her life. And what was the reason? Because she didn't get a man to marry her. And when I saw this, I'm like, how long are you going to continue allowing dead people put you under pressure with tradition and religion? People that have died and gone are still putting you under pressure, are still dictating how you live your life. 100 years, 200 years, 500 years later. And you think you are okay? The level of, someone was saying there are people in their marriages who are telling other people that marriage is not a do or die. They are inside their marriages. Let me tell you something. Many of the people saying that, if the society and their dead family members were not putting them under this pressure, they will not be married. I was in a marriage before. I had no business being in that marriage. Let me tell you, why did I get married? We're in the university, and she came one day and said she was pregnant. And I felt that the best thing to do, one of my friends called me aside and said, look, take care of your child. You don't need to, no. The hypocrisy in me is not good. I don't want my son to be born out of wedlock, blah, 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 blah. thinking back now, if I were to go like this, Daddy Freeze, to go back to meet Freeze of 20 years ago, 2002 to be precise, I will go there with cane and flog myself. No. It's not. You see, when you are saying you are writing letter to yourself, writing letter to yourself is mild. You want to write yourself a poem. I want to go back and flog myself. And one of the reasons why I want to flog myself is for getting married. What business did I have getting married? Did I want to get married? Did I need to get married? Was I with my soulmate? These are questions I need to ask. Of course, I'm not blaming the person who I got married to. I'm blaming the dead people that are still putting us under pressure. It took me 15 years, more like since 2000, 2014, about 12 years in the marriage, to realize that I had no business taking that decision. And I can speak to you from experience because I know what it is like to be in a bad marriage and I know what it is like to be divorced. And I'm not throwing blames at any of the parties here. I am just saying there are things that we have overhyped. Do you know how many married women, as leader of the Free Nation, how many married women are cutting me eye? As I don't old or rich like this. How many women in their husbands' houses are cutting eye? And I'm looking at them and wondering. Some will throw their money at you. They say Apostle Suleiman bribed at the freeze. 1 naira of Apostle Suleiman money I never see. Meanwhile, there are women in their husbands' homes who, if I allow, would compromise me. If I allow them, if I give them that proximity, and in their mind they are married. You see, let me tell you, Nigerians don't understand the meaning of marriage. They think marriage is wearing clothes, entering car, and going to church on Sunday and praying together. And going on Saturday, they will go to wedding, wear the same thing. During the week, they will put the husband who puts, while he's sleeping with another girl in his office, the picture of his wife is on his DP. The wife is traveling. There was one day, let me tell you this gist. 2 of my friends, both of them were married, went to the same secondary school. They both wore their wedding rings. For different people like me, imagine me, I'm married to Ada, and Simply Vic is married to Binta. But then Simply Vic and Ada travel together. Because they were both wearing rings, they taught them to be a couple. They are wearing rings. It's just that the rings were for 2 different people, 2 other people. Do you know there was one girl I toasted? Her father was very rich when we were growing up. You know those kind of people that their house is like one estate. Okay. Where if you go to their gate, from their gate, you have to phone their security because their security is not even at their gate and the security cannot come and meet you at the gate. I toasted this girl, bought card, wrote love poem. The girl did not answer me. So this girl, way as fine young girl, she no grief for me. She can't go jand. One day she came back from jand, begin they find me with her own 2 legs. Person where I toast no grief. Wow. She day inside marriage, they find me.
Oh, was already married.
Married in a bad marriage, but a rich husband came to Nigeria and started looking for me.
What for?
Me, I then thought it was an innocent thing. That's how me to stay hanging out with her. The next thing she'll say, she's tired, let me drive the car. I'm driving the car, she'll put her head on my shoulder.
Like,
Ah,
put your hands on
ẹ mà gbà mí nítorí Ọlọ́run. Kí la gbé, kí la jù? What did we carry? What did we throw? As in, Ada, can you imagine this?
Daddy Freeze, what's wrong with your light?
Uh-huh. How do you know that I don't have light? Don't worry, my estate light is 24 hours. It's not
I am
202.
watching you live.
My estate is not 202 and we have water. I'm driving the car. The next thing I heard is on my shoulder. Auntie, I liked you. But that was then. Now we are friends. This auntie did not take it as play. And do you know how heartbroken I was then when she did not cut me eye? Instead, she was dating another rich man's son that was on her level. That was father to her estate. Her own father to her estate. So it was estate marry estate. Me when my papa get ordinary house, I no fit the equation. Somebody say I did Lagos, Texas. Oh yes, that's right. The snow outside made the light go off. Please pardon us. It's snowing very heavily right now. You can hear it. Just open your. So think about it. Do you know that if I started reaching out to all the girls I toasted that did not agree for me when they were single, I have a greater shot of hitting the jackpot inside their husband's home? Do you realize?
Now?
I am telling you till tomorrow. And that incident I talked to you about was not a lone incident. It was one among many. Girls that normally you will not be, all of a sudden, because they are bored in their marriages, you can now, and let me tell you, yeah, if you are a public figure, you have more access to people than regular people do.
Yeah, true.
Let me give you an example. Of course, compared to people like Bobrisky and Two-Face, and I'm not but I'm more popular than a regular person. I have about 180,000 followers on Facebook, 83,000 subscribers on YouTube, 600 and something thousand on Instagram, 300 and something thousand on Twitter. So the amount of interactions I get, most human beings don't get them. By most, I don't mean celebs. I mean regular people. The amount of people I relate with on a daily basis. Some people, there was a lady who sent me a message before the NSAS, about the NSAS. I read it yesterday.
Wow.
And that one is good. There are some messages I have. We're having a conversation in 2013. And I said, I'll get back to you. And she's asked another thing. And the message just kept going down in my inbox. And one day, I just deleted messages and finally got to that message. I said, wow, do you realize that this message is 8 years old, 9 years old? So when you have access to a lot of people, you also have people talk to you. Do you know how many weddings I have emceed? And within 4 months, the marriage is over. As a wedding MC, you meet the person you MC the wedding and say, how's your husband? We are no longer together. When did I collect people's check?
Hey.
There was one. They've not paid me balance till today because they've broken up. Do you understand?
You have to pay them
They
back.
broke up during the honeymoon. The marriage ended during the honeymoon.
What?
So by the time they came back,
You don't say.
I went to meet the wife. Auntie, my balance, meet the... as in, it was... So what am I trying to say at the end of the day is, there are people who have no business getting married, but are getting married every day because of the pressure some dead people are putting on them. So this woman wakes up, and let me give you this gist here. Yesterday when we were on the radio, people called and said, the girl should fix herself, that there are issues. Well, how did they say it exactly?
It's not compulsory, but then again,
No, that guy that called and said for the girl not to be married and other people are getting married
and
around her,
then
she,
check
there must
yourself.
be a problem with her.
Yeah. Something she's not doing right. She should start doing that right. If there are areas she got to fix, she should just go ahead and fix them.
Once again, they put the blame on the victim. Typical of traditional and religious people. They put the blame on the victim. Let me tell you something that I found out counseling people. Do you know how many men have complained that their wives are dirty? To me, dirtiness is something I don't think I can live with. There are men whose wives are dirty. The marriage is still going on as I'm talking to you. There are men whose wives are loose-tongued. There are men whose wives are promiscuous. There are men whose wives are both promiscuous and dirty, and the marriages are still going on. So if you are telling me that she's not finding husband because she's promiscuous, I want to reassure you that there are many promiscuous women inside their husband's home, and their husbands know. If you are telling me that she has a bad mouth and a bad attitude, there was a certain girl I used to know. Her mother used to beat her father. All her sisters beat their husbands. All of them are still married as I'm speaking to you till today. So, if you say a woman is violent, there are violent women inside marriage, and their husbands have not left them, and they found husbands. If you say a woman that is lazy, I have a friend who has a very beautiful wife. She refused to work. She just said she wants to be taking care of the children. She has, I've never met a less ambitious person in my entire life. She just doesn't want to work. She wants to stay at home and take care of the children. And my friend is now the sole breadwinner and is frustrated.
Ought to be. Wow.
But they are still in the marriage. Every day he's calling me and moaning and groaning about how his wife is not ambitious and he wants a woman that can match him. He's very ambitious, going for every 2 years he gets a better job. Every 2 years he gets a better job. Meanwhile, his wife is still where she is, waiting for him to come and feed her. And she's still in a marriage. So you are telling me, you ask someone saying, be ambitious, be this, be... And let me tell you, there are women who are clean, who are not promiscuous, who are not loose-tongued, who are well-behaved and don't have husbands. Am I lying, Ada?
No, you're not.
So there's really no formula to this. And the fewer people you have in sad marriages, do you know how many men will come and be telling you, my wife, meanwhile I know their girlfriend. One was fighting me the other day. I know his side chick. As in the guy, they fight me, say I did divorced. I did look the guy like this. This is how I stood and was looking at the guy. I be one call. Is it not the same you? Maybe you don't know it, but me and your side chick are on talking terms. So, how did we get here? And the next thing you ask people, they will say, marriage is important. Go to church and get... Do you know how many pastors I counsel? Pastors. One of my friends that is a pastor, I wish I could bring taste buds. The guy tell me, no even hide them. He said, Baba, I get woman problem. He had to separate from his wife. And do you know that when he said that thing, I felt, Tastebud is not going to like this guy. No, he had issues with his wife. And he told me one day, just come and say, Baba, forget all these things. I no fit. I get woman problem. Anytime we're talking, Tastebuds always references this guy. Says, that's your guy. You know what that your guy said that day is the truth. It's just that we don't like to admit it. Do you know how many people have woman problem, certified woman problem, but now them you go see inside marriage? Our Muslim brothers and sisters, they made it easier for them. They say if one woman is not enough for you, marry another. That thing no be lie. Oh. Some people just they fool themselves, they just they buffoon themselves, they just they confuse themselves.
What about the women? What if a woman says, okay, one man is not
You see, do you know why I don't preach polygamy as a doctrine in the free nation? Not because if you are polygamous, you will go to hell. If you are going to go to hell, now Abraham, you go first go there, go meet, followed by Jacob, then David and Solomon, all of them go there hellfire. If polygamy were to be a sin. However, because I rely very hard, or I lean very hard on Galatians chapter 3 verse 28. There is no longer male or female, free or bond, Jew or Gentile. We're all one in Christ. So if we're all one in Christ, if I am going to permit for a man to have a second wife, I must permit for a woman to have a second husband. And since my conscience cannot permit for a woman to have a second husband, I would dare not permit for a man to have a second wife. You are quiet, Ada. So that is why I don't preach polygamy. Because of these same issues. So it is better you do not get married. And the beauty of this adultery that everybody is carrying on their head, like gala that they are hawking inside traffic, is Christ said, when you look lustfully, you have already committed adultery. Matthew chapter 5. I don't know how we jump that and then get ourselves worked up in a state of utmost hypocrisy. And then come and ask for forgiveness, and then back on Monday again, we are back on the same plan, on the same route. Personally, I have never cheated on taste buds before. Not by my grace, by the grace of God. I follow him in light and in truth, and he leads me and guides me and gives me strength and gives me a woman that can cope with my madness, because I am not well.
That's right.
You are crazy. So I have found someone that can cope with my madness, and I appreciate her every day for it. So let us take phone calls. Let us see the genuine people who are going to come out and speak the truth, and let us now see the hippopotamus crits, because some people hypocrite it has reached hippopotamus level. If their hypocrisy enter inside swimming pool, the water will come out, only them go there because they will occupy all the space. Some people's hypocrisy is enough to blot out the sun and cause eclipse of the sun. That is how big the hypocrisy. And guess what? Most of those people are religious people. So, let us take 2 phone calls and let us take some contributions from social media where I know my people.
Are you sure we have that time?
We will create the time.
No.
We are not prisoners of time, Majek Fashek. Oh yeah, take 1 call. I'll take 1 comment from social media. Nneka Spiff.
All right then.
Yes.
Hello. Good morning. All right, Mutanda.
What a surprise.
Daddy friend.
How are you listening in the car, Nneka?
I have my phone hooked up, so
Hooked up to your car.
yeah, I have something where I hook up my phone, so it's convenient for me.
Omo, you're enjoying it. And as you are driving, the network is not breaking.
No, it's not.
What part of America are you?
I live in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. You did not go to Texas.
No, oh no, I can't stand Texas actually.
Isn't it snowing where you are?
It is. This is a cold part, but I kind of prefer it to Texas. Texas is just too humid for me.
Okay. Hold on a
Yeah.
second. Let me bring Ada back.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you okay?
No, take it easy. All right, thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much. We've got somebody here too. Ada,
Yes, Daddy, please.
I've got my very good friend here,
Okay.
Neka. Neka, go ahead. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Daddy Freeze. It's been a while.
Yeah,
but
what
I'm happy
happened?
I
Where have
kind
you
of
been?
got today? What?
Where have you been?
So I got a job, like I told you. I was actually out of job for some time, but I got a new job, and it's been taking my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so marriage, do you think it's overrated?
Well, I wouldn't say it's overrated, but I also agree that marriage is not for everyone.
Do you think marriage is for you?
Yes, I would say so because I like to be with someone. That's my kind of person. I just want to be with someone. But there are people who enjoy being alone, and it's not for me to judge why they want to be alone.
Now, I want to ask you a question. Yeah, there was a story that broke yesterday about a woman, I think in Ibadan, who wanted to take her own life. She actually attempted to, but luckily was prevented by people. And the reason she gave was because no one wanted to marry her. What advice do you have for a lady like that?
First, I would say Nigeria, that mentality is a problem. I'll give you like an example. I called a friend of mine. We haven't spoken for over 5 years, and I was like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on with you?" I expected to hear, "Oh, I'm working here, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that." All she said was, "I'm believing God for marriage." And in my head, that wasn't the question or the answer I was kind of expecting to get from her. So I think the thing is the society puts a lot of pressure on us.
Now, sorry to cut you. Abroad where you are, do you feel this same pressure?
No, not at all. I'm a single mom, and I don't feel bad at all, or I don't feel different. You know, it's not like nobody looks at you in a different way. People let you. Everybody are living their best life and actually looking forward to achieving things for themselves rather than thinking about marriage. When you're ready, it's fine, but if you're not, nobody really cares.
Okay, sis. Thank you so much for that contribution.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Regards to the baby. That was my beautiful sister. Now, do you know that Nigeria has one of the highest paternity fraud rates globally?
Yeah.
Countries like some parts of Germany, I heard, and of course the popular one, Holland, Amsterdam, where prostitution is legal, they don't have the paternity fraud rates we have in Nigeria. And do you know why this is? Because the prostitution in Nigeria, they do them inside marriage. Which, to me, is the highest level of hypocrisy. So, let me bring in somebody else real quick. Regina,
Daddy freeze.
why are you looking at time for me now? Just forget that the clock exists. We can do this till tomorrow morning. You just see that the sun is rising. We are still here doing live. And we are doing live and even more dangerous.
No way.
Yeah. All right, one more person. I'll quickly bring Nurse Regina. You know, in Nigeria, there's a way you feel if you are 25 and you are not married. Huh? Nurse Reginus.
Hi, Daddy Freeze.
Hi, my sister. How are you doing?
Good.
So, go ahead. Talk to me. You heard the story about the woman who wanted to take her own life because she couldn't find a partner.
I didn't. I haven't been on social media.
Well, okay. I just said it
but
today. I
haven't
just
really,
said it today, actually. It was a trending story yesterday, and Ada and I dealt with it. So right now, I want to ask you: do you think marriage is overrated in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, yes, but not in the Western world. In Nigeria, yes. I think culturally, they expect a man or a woman to marry at a certain time, age, and this is irrespective of what cultural background you're from. Like the Igbos, they want the girls to marry early because they feel like as if they don't get married, they can have babies. Yoruba land too is also the same thing. Efik, Hausas, so I think, and even in other parts of Africa, in Somalia, Cameroon, and Ghana, yeah. But in the Western world, if you don't want to get married, you can always go get a baby. Just, go to a sperm bank, look at, I want to have blue eyes, I want her to have blue eyes, I want a boy, I want a girl, tall, short, intelligent, and they'll make you a baby. If that's the reason why you want to get married.
Get married.
Sometimes, I think in Nigeria, a lot of people want to get married because of the social status, because they want to feel like they want to be respected, they want to be higher than their counterparts. They feel like there's a trophy that you have because you're married. That's not to say that marriage is not a beautiful thing. Marriage is awesome. The reason why God made marriage is for companionship. And the secondary aspect of it is procreation, and I learned that from you. So, yeah. So, here, my sweetheart said, because she's in Pennsylvania like me, it's not, there's no pressure here to get married. If you get married, good enough for you. The divorce rate in the Western world is higher than, anywhere else, so people want to marry for the right reason. Some people want to marry for companionship. Some people just to, mainly for companionship, to be honest. But there's a lot of people that just want to be by themselves. And marriage is like Neka said, marriage is not for everyone, so you just need to know what perspective, why you're getting married, before you dive into it. Because some people get into marriage for the wrong reasons and they end up making a mess, saying that it's a mistake, and they want to leave. And they end up breaking their heart and the person's heart. And if there are kids involved in like the product of the relationship, those kids suffer too. Like when the elephants are fighting, the grass suffers, that word. So it is overly rated. And I think a lot of people have had some mental breakdown, depression from that. Okay, I'm 45, I don't know if I'm going to have kids. Technology now is amazing now that even at 50, you can have children. I'm not saying it's something that you should do, but if that's what you want to do, you can. If that's the reason why you're getting married. In America here, you can answer your father's name, like, even if you're married, so, like, there's so many things that have been modernized.
Now, let me tell you a story. I was with one of my aunts, and there's something my dad did to us to me especially, I wasn't particularly serious academically when I was growing up. And one day, I don't know whether my dad was serious or not, but I took him very seriously. He said, just know that this your fumbling is for a limited period in my life. The moment you are 25, I kick you out of my house. So I took him seriously, and I felt that he was really going to kick me out of his house at 25. So I made sure by myself that I was going to be out of his house by 25. So I said, I'm going to adopt the same mentality for my children. Once you're 25, you're out of my house. I'm going to rent you whatever it is I can afford, a BQ, a room, a 2-bedroom, a self-contained. I move you out of my house there. I pay you 1 year's rent. From then on, sort yourself out. And my auntie said, no, you cannot do that with the girls, oh. I'm like, why? They will not see husband. People will think they are irresponsible. I'm like, am I doing what I'm doing for my daughters because of what people will think? Do you know how many girls we go and carry from their parents' house, carry them to hotel, go and give different angle, then carry them and go and drop them back in their parents' house?
Daddy Freeze, do you know that if a girl has a car or builds a house, they will deem you as not maritable because they feel like you want to be over them. Some men are threatened by some women's success, so they tend to, downplay what they have so they can get husbands.
If you find a husband,
my mom will tell me. My mom will tell me, well, you need to learn how to cook. You need to learn how to behave because if your husband sends you back, you're not going to be back in my house. I'm sending you to the bridge. Like scaring me. So there's this whole thing about this marriage thing that is overly rated in Africa in general, So, and it's more on the female than on the men. Because men can have babies everywhere with different baby mamas, which is what's going on in Nigeria now. And, the woman, at this point right now, they don't even care if they're second wives or baby mamas. I just want to have a man. So I don't know. It's just really sad.
Thank you so much, my darling sister, and God bless. Always a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And I'm lazy.
Daddy Freeze, don't even call me.
Why?
Why? Really?
Isn't Live and Dangerous supposed to be 2 hours? Why are you doing like a jealous wife?
No.
All right, round off. Let me ask you that question. Do you believe that it is wrong for girl children, like daughters, to live on their own like men do? For instance, a guy would pack out of his parents' house the moment he gets a job. Why am I living in my parents' house if I have a job?
I'm the very wrong person to ask this. I left home at 17, so...
Fantastic. And you are not promiscuous. The other I know is not promiscuous.
That's the thing.
Since I've met her, she's only had 72 boyfriends. And she has not dated more than 5 at the same time. I'm joking, Ada has only had 1 boyfriend since I met her.
Daddy, please, that cracks me up, but it's okay.
Ada, I dare you to mention your boyfriend's name so that all your other rounds will know.
Very simple. Ifedayo.
Ah! When we're doing roadshow on Cool FM those days, do you know how many people we set up? A girl will just call us and say, we ruined relationships too. Me and Kayla. A girl will just call us and say, she's not sure if she's the only guy in her relationship, that we should just help her find out.
Okay.
That's how we call the boyfriend. We'll say, your girlfriend just won a visa lottery, and she wants you. She said we should call you up that you are her boyfriend and want to apply on your behalf too, so you can relocate to America. So, when did you meet? So please, just for the records, what's your girlfriend's name and when did you meet her? The girl that is on the phone waiting, her name is Uche. The guy say, oh, Lola, I met Lola. I met Lola 3 years ago. Lola is the love of my life. Blah 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 blah. Then we'll now link the calls. We used to have a device where we link the calls. So anyway, your girlfriend is here. She wants to say hi to you. Uche will say, "Ah, Wale." So you have not left this Lola.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Do you know how many relationships we ruined? Ask Kayla.
That actually happened on my show one night. Someone called that I should wish the girl a happy birthday, and I did. And then I said, okay, guess who that message came from? And then she called another name. Like, wow. Okay.
Somebody said in Holland, once you are 17 years, the government automatically gives you a house and you leave your parents.
Oh, that's interesting.
All those are broad countries. Parents
I am
really
actually
don't.
not going to ask my children to leave the house, but I am going to instill that mentality in them.
You
that,
have
see,
to, because if you let me tell you, if children get too comfortable, at 30 they'll still be in your house.
True that.
All right. Anyway, it's been live and chat station because the two have merged together.
Of course.
And you guys make sure you
Yeah,
continue
that's
listening to Ada Blazy, aka.
That's right. But Daddy Freeze, before I let you go, have you ever been with a girl that? Have you ever been with a smoker?
Oh yeah, I used to smoke. I stopped smoking.
I mean the girl.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
stopped smoking in January 2014, which makes it 7 years now. Like play.
Okay.
And let me be honest
Wow.
with you. Do you know that cigarettes are something I miss up until today?
For real?
Yup. The reason why I'm not going back to cigarettes is because I know it is bad for me. It leads to all sorts of cancers. All sorts of cancer. Even secondhand smoke can cause different types of cancers. But sometimes I smell cigarette and the thing just calls me. It takes the grace of God.
Wow.
And then sometimes I'm angry. And you know those days when I was angry, I'll just walk down to the malam, just collect one cigarette. Once I just light it like this, I'll be fine. Then that morning cigarette with coffee. And when I was in the UK, cigarettes with hot chocolate standing by the side of the road. You know? So those things work. But I'm grateful to the Almighty God that I was able. I just stopped. I went cold turkey on the 1st of January 2014, and I haven't smoked since then.
Wow.
Since
Okay, pretty
then.
much amazing.
And I pray to God that I don't get, because let me tell you, if I pick a cigarette today, it will take me another 6 months
You'll
before I
go
can
back.
stop. That's it. So I just have to run from cigar.
It's good. Okay, Daddy Freeze, is it true that when a guy allows his girlfriend to drink and smoke, he doesn't have future plans with her?
Not necessarily. But you see, the problem with cigarettes is they make women age very fast. A beautiful 17-year-old woman will look horrible by the time she's 32 if she doesn't stop smoking. Unless she is an occasional smoker. By occasional, I mean she smokes that random stick at a party once every month, thereabout. But you smoke one stick a day, you're going to age. And you're going to age badly.
Okay, now in all honesty, would you
Yeah.
have been married to Taste Bud if she was a smoker?
I think I might have complained about it.
Okay.
But I don't think it'll be what... I don't like the smell of smoke on people, but I like the smell of smoke. And I'm
Okay.
also not crazy about women who smoke. But it doesn't mean that I have a great woman who smokes. I'll now break up with her because she smokes. No. You understand? But one thing with smokers, they always attract themselves. If the man is smoking, the woman, they will be smoking together.
But why is it that they attract themselves only while dating? When it comes to marriage, you see the guys leaving them and then going in search of the white tag them, the godly ones.
The guys fool themselves. Do you know how many guys I know went to follow godly girls that were sleeping with choir master? You see that godly, na another knack fest too. Oh, if only God will open you people's eyes. Na another story. No. Look at Bobby and Whitney. But you know the funny thing is the truth now came out and we realized that Whitney was the bad one. Bobby just used to drink beer and arrange Igbo. Whitney used to do the hard stuff. She took him took him down the line on the hardcore. Do you want more?
Okay. Just wanted to get your views on that because that's what we're talking about on the chat station.
Oh wow, that's a lovely topic. That's a lovely topic. You guys should tune into the chat station on 99.3 Nigeria Info, the best radio station in Nigeria.
That's right.
And we're conquering new ground every day.
Yeah.
You enter a shop and they say, "I know you. You're Daddy Freeze from 99.3 Nigeria Info." I'm like, "Oh wow!" For the first time, somebody's not recognizing me with Free the Shippo.
What?
Yay! Even Ada will be entering Uber. They will say, Ada Daddy Freeze.
Daddy Freeze.
All right, guys.
I don't talk anymore. Let's not be one of those guys looking for you. Be like, if I can't get Daddy Freeze, let me get you.
This Ada, let me tell you what Ada did one day during the NSAS crisis.
Daddy Freeze, no.
The people were threatening them. So on the group, on our WhatsApp group, and I said, all those people that don't like Daddy Freeze, let them. I say, the Ada that will be forming like she's my person. All those people that will be forming like they don't like Daddy Freeze, let them not come and do me strong, you know. I say, hey, see you.
Okay, Daddy Freeze, it's time for you to go.
All right. Take care, guys. We love ya.
Love you too. Good night.
Good night. All right. Live and dangerous indeed it was. See you guys tomorrow on the radio, or you guys are going to hear us on the radio. Look out for that. We love ya. Take care.